The galleys landed then at dawn, crunching onto the shingly shore. Mist was clearing like a curtain torn. An eerie light, like never before. The centurion came from far off Rome. His men were brought from far and wide. This place had to be their home, planted by the channel side. Fearfully, they looked around. Were the natives watching them? Mudflats, reeds, marshy ground, dampness filling all the air. Inland, steep hills lined their views, thick with briar, birch and beech, cover for Britons painted blue to attack, drive them from the beach. They dug the ditch, built the fence, latrines downwind, laid out strata with neat rows of off-used tents, finished the job with fearful ardour. An outpost this, to keep the peace, 15,000 paces from the seat of power. No settlers, no orchard trees, no earth to till as it was sour. What did they leave? We cannot tell. Under a Norman pile, their little fort, oyster beds and jeans as well, the start of Portsmouth Port. Matthew was exasperated. He did not know how to deal with Jessie's jealousy. It never mattered what he said. She was totally convinced he was unfaithful. It was there when he met her, but it did not worry him, as he saw it as a sign that she really loved him. After they were wed, it did not seem loving, and it got steadily worse. When the children left home, it became an all-consuming obsession. Over the years, it was one woman after another. The first had been Isabel, his secretary. True, she was flirty, but he'd done nothing. Then there was Doris, that friendly neighbour. Her friends all fell under suspicion. Maria, then Betty, and later Pauline. The list went on and on. He wondered where she thought he got the stamina, particularly when she accused him of having several on the go at the same time. Any conversation he had, Jessie saw as a flirtation or a proposition. If he ignored someone who she accused him of being involved with, that too was evidence that something was going on. He couldn't win. Social life became a minefield. His business trips were obviously opportunities for adventure. Any absence was suspect. Every wrong number had to be a mistress calling. Anything that was moved or which went missing in their home must have been taken by someone he had entertained when she was out. His locked briefcase had to contain incriminating letters. Deleting emails meant he had something to hide. And unknown numbers on his mobile were naturally suspicious. When he opened his briefcase and showed her it only contained work files, she was dismissive. You're only showing it to me because today you just have work papers. She rejected all explanations and reasons. He realised that it is nearly always possible to prove that the person is doing something, but quite impossible to prove the opposite. Finally, he had had enough. There was nothing for it but to tell her. I'm having an affair. She looked surprised. Who is it? Matthew smiled. You don't know her. So you're going to leave me? Oh, no. Why should I do that? It's much better, more exciting to keep things the way they are. Jessie cried. She screamed. She threatened. Then she sulked. Until one day, you've admitted it at last, you might as well tell me all about it. He told her about Josephine, her beauty, her passion, her sense of humour, the wild things they did together, the way she made him feel young again, everything. He felt turned on just talking about her. And Jessie was content now. She knew. She'd been right all along. She became more loving. At last they were happy together. One Friday, Matthew announced that he'd be spending the weekend with Josephine. He booked her a room at a hotel in Torquay. He packed a bag with casual clothes and a swimsuit kissed Jessie goodbye and walked off down the garden path with a spring in his step. She watched him as he strode out towards the station. At least she knew where he would be. She decided she did not want to stay alone in the empty house, arranged to spend the weekend in London with her sister, a writer, who was researching a travel novel. Saturday afternoon found them in the British Library at St Pancras. While her sister sat and made notes, Jessie looked around. There, 2 tables away, sat Matthew, busily writing. She got up from her chair, stood for what seemed an eternity, and just looked at him. He wrote on, unawares. She approached, stood over him. Her shadow fell on his page. What on earth are you doing here? Her voice was shrill. He was calm. I've tried to keep it a secret. I'm writing a book about the Empress Josephine. Her face went white. Her eyes flared. She slapped his face, a blow with each hand that echoed around the room. You lied to me! Champs-Élysées, full of cars, roaring to and fro. We waited. There's a gap. Rushed to the centre. To the left, a string of lights, great arch at the end. She looked up, smiled at me. I'm glad you're my dad. We ran across, reached safety, and I asked her, why? Because we can love each other without that sex thing getting in the way. We linked arms, walked away together. Bronzed and fit, she came back from an island in the Med, smiled a sly smile, looked up at me. There's something you must see, she said. She rolled down the top of her skirt, pointed to a blue smiley tattoo on her hip, surrounded by smooth tan skin. That's what I have to show you. Why? Because I know you don't approve. But you must see it before my holiday pics are printed. And you'll see it and feel sore. The photos came. Young people, naked breasts, pubes, bums, thighs. She knew those would not bother me. It was the tattoo that had caused surprise. I know it's me who taught my kids knowledge, ideas, morals, to behave, but I learned so much from her. She was open, strong, and brave.